Well, hello.
Hello, mate.
Eye bashers on a Saturday night.
On a Saturday, right?
How you doing,
Good night.
Dirk? You all right?
I'm great. How are the punters out there? Good. Great. We got ticking
How
time.
are watch people doing?
Watch people. We got 39.
That's we did a whole thing
in Cockney.
in
So we got 48. We got 48 punters right now. 48.
It's a shame we don't have 38.
We had 30. We had 38.
30.
Now we got 54.
40. Both have 54. The F sound.
Got 54 right now, mate. 54, Governor. 54.
How y'all doing tonight? Saturday night. Hot in the city.
Hot child in the city. Okay, name that artist real
hot
quick.
In the city tonight. You know that song?
Yeah.
That's a different one.
Yeah.
The heat is on. Here's another one. How many songs refer to the heat of the city?
How about this? Hot town, summer in the city. Back of my neck, getting dirty, gritty. Cool cat, looking for a kitty.
Okay, that was that. 3, 4. We already got. Okay, let's go on.
Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. Summer was that called Summer Nights?
Summer Nights.
Well.
Now you have to do that. You have to do that like the slow. Oh, you did it? That's it. Who's coming in to town tonight?
Greece is a fun romp.
Greece is fun. So the arrangements amazing. Everything about Greece is so pro and brilliant. It was a time when they really put a lot of work into script and choreographing. I mean, I guess they still do it, but I pay less attention now.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. It's shite now. I mean, that was obviously a stage play, and then they adapted it for the screen, and they completely changed it. They made her Australian, and they added Barry Gibb songs, and they added Frankie Valli. What a tune that is!
Beautiful.
It's Barry Gibb.
So, guys, if you're watching on Timeless Watch channel, this is the Eye Bashers. We don't necessarily talk about watches, but we will for a minute, because I want to talk about the Moonswatch a little bit. But then we're going to talk about other stuff. It's astonishing, Dirk. I still get messages from people saying, I come here to talk about the watches or listen to I'm not interested in what you guys think about politics or whatever. I'm like, okay, go elsewhere, Jesus Christ. You know.
Yeah, this is not a watch show. We're watch guys that talk about other things. You know. But it's okay. But you get the ball rolling on that.
This is not a love song. Do you ever hear that song with it's Prince and
Madonna.
And Kate. Oh, no. Madonna. Yeah,
Prince and Madonna. This is not a love song. Is on Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Red Shoes is the other Prince collaboration.
That's the other Prince collaboration. Yeah. Which song was that? That was the Red Shoes.
Yeah, it's on the Red Shoes.
Okay.
No, it's right after Top of the City. It's fuck. How do we not know that off the top of
Steve Crow straight in? Is that a super compressor? It is. Summer Watch.
Super compressor.
Summer Watch. Da-na-na-na. Think of a rhyme. You're good with rhymes. I'm not as good. I'm not as fast as you.
I don't know.
What rhymes with watch anyway? Isn't that pretty?
Crotch.
Summer Watch.
Scotch.
For scratching.
Summer Watch. Drinking some scotch. Oh, on the summer nights. Drink more. Drinking scotch. Now he's rubbing his crotch. Don't do that. That would be chatterate. I bait.
This is the super compressor by Christopher Ward. I can't hold it up close to the camera because I have auto focus off, guys. I love this thing. Let me tell you a little story, though. They sent me this thing. Oh, my God. It was such a mess for them to get it to me without fees. It got locked in customs and everything. And I'm like, guys, it's a sample for review. And they were like, we want an invoice. All the Italians on the customs end, they're coming down real hard on the Brits, real hard. And we want to see a
finally
receipt. I'm like, yeah, right. And yeah, well, look, they fucking made their bed, so like, sleep in it now, guys. Like, this is what you're up against now. Customs fees all over the joint. So
we shall fight them in the royal post. We shall fight them.
We shall fight them. Yeah,
shall fight them in the ground and in the streets,
them in the fields,
and in the royal.
We will never surrender. We will never surrender. So, God, it took weeks, and it was locked up in customs for ages, and we did all we could to say, listen, it's just a sample. God, it's not. There was no sale. There's no purchase. There's no receipt to show. For crying out loud. Anyway, I finally got here. And then I loved it. I was like, oh my God, this thing is so gorgeous and up close, like macros, beautiful. So I wrote back to them and I was like, okay, I think I'll review it. I'll review your watch. And I said, what's your, what do you do? Like, how much you pay? What do you want? What you want to give me the watch? You want to give me how much you want to give me? Like, what do you normally do? And they came back with the worst shit ever. They're like, oh no, we just loan you the watch. We don't have any budget. And I'm like, what? You want a free review? But I don't think it's them. I think they act through a third party.
Agents. Yeah, it's their agent.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write to them directly and say, listen, guys, don't be doing any of that. I'll give you a second chance. Anyway, great watch. So did you watch that video on the fake Moonswatch?
I watched a couple of them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Let me pull this up. I actually know this chap. He has a great little channel called, what is it called?
Escapement 24.
Escapement 24. There you go. And he was just talking about
some consumer advice and a bit of a warning for anyone who's thinking of buying a Moonswatch from one of the marketplace sites.
There's a nice little intro here as well. God bless him. Actually hung out with this guy here in Venice. Lovely fella. Came to the house.
I feel like I'm in Ibiza.
Whiskey. Oh yeah, because of the music.
So the Moonswatch collaboration between.
So I'm not gonna like go through the. I just want to talk about. He makes a very, very good point. So this fake Moonswatch is going around, and the problem is they're really good. They're really effing good. Let me put full screen that. So
you'll know they're on that day. I was in London.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
To get one.
Default view. Full screen.
And
but
even now, 4 months after the original launch.
It's crazy because the problem is they're really good. They don't. I mean, it's not hard to copy a plastic watch. It's a cheap ass watch, and there's a couple of issues going on. So one is that I'll just let that play in the background. He goes through the whole thing. Go watch. Go sub to this guy. He's a great little channel, guys. Escaping 24. But he makes some excellent points. So one is he wasn't able to get his hands on a real one. He's been trying to get a real one, and he's been unsuccessful. Huh?
Who has?
Right. Who has been able to get their hands on it? Right. But he said that this is part of the point. People are paying huge money on eBay to get these things. How do they know it's the real thing? Because you don't have a real one to put it up against. Yeah. And these fakes are so convincing now. These things are on AliExpress for like $30.
I think I'm going to buy one because I don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, a plastic piece of crap anyway.
Yeah, it's a
what's the difference?
What's the difference? And you know
this one has a sapphire crystal.
Right. Which
doesn't matter. It's a battery-powered homage to a watch that is not a watch. It is a fake as it is. So who cares who makes it? I don't care.
It's true.
It's the same. It's the same
it's
thing.
True.
Oh, it's not an original moon. It's a counterfeit Moonswatch. Well, good. Now I can have one. I don't care that it's from Swatch. Look at that. That looks great.
It looks really
got a battery
good.
in it. It's made out of plastic, just like the other ones.
Uh-huh.
What's the difference? Maybe this one's colors don't rub off on your skin.
Maybe they've got one or two up on the real thing. Now, he said there were some slight manufacturing tiny details that were discrepancies, but for all we know, the real thing has those too. Like we know that there wasn't an incredible amount of artistry going into the manufacture. These are mass-produced things stamped out from machines.
Yeah.
And whatever fancy name they use for the plastic, it's bloody plastic. I mean, that looks as good.
Sure.
So, of course, the whole thing it raises this very large question. I get comments every single day on my video, The Real versus Fake Submariner. A lot of people saying, hold on. So that thing is $100 and the real one's 10,000. Why on earth would I ever spend that when the other one looks just fine? And then, of course, we enter into that big discussion. Well, when you get up close, it ain't the same. There's always that thing. You look at your wrist and you think, I'm pretending to have a $10,000 watch, but I'm actually only wearing a $100 watch. And am I a fraud? There's that kind of feeling of guilt when you look down at your wrist if you have a fake watch. You can't really have that with this.
No.
And what's the dollar difference anyway? They're both plastic. Look, it even has the S on the sapphire crystal.
It's the wrong font, though, to be fair.
Oh, it's the wrong font?
Yeah, it's completely wrong. Because this Moonswatch has as an original font. That's just an S. But the box looks good.
Yeah, he even said the packaging is good. Yeah.
Now, that's Mission to Mercury, which is my favorite of them, which is the one I'd want. I think I'm going to go. I should go on AliExpress and buy one right now.
Right now, live. $30. It'll take a couple of weeks to get there, but who cares? I also think that people who are upset, because some people are collecting them all slowly but surely. That's the next level up. If you're lucky enough to get one, then you go up the next level and you go, now I've got one, now I want the rest, the other 11 or 12 or whatever in the collection. I think those same people should also buy the fake one, because I think the fake one might be just every bit as good, if not better. Now you're on eBay. Oh no, that's him on eBay. Sorry. You want to share your screen and we can have a look?
Let me get whatever information I had.
Okay, so here is a very interesting thing. He's saying that there's in some of the clips on eBay, some of the photos on eBay. Look at the prices they're going for. It not as crazy as they used to, but still way above retail. Some of them have the receipt next to the box. But he said, how do you know that they're not just using the same receipt over and over and over again and buying these things for $30 and selling them for $650? Someone may have got wise to this. This is a great video by this guy because it outlines something we could all be being ripped off right now with this stuff. And we deserve it because it's already cheap Chinese crap to begin with, even the real thing. It's not made in Switzerland, right?
It is not.
It is not. Guys, how's the level difference, the volume level? As myself and Dirk, are we the same? Or is, because on my headphones, I'm way louder than Dirk, unfortunately.
You're way louder than me?
Yeah, just in my headphones. So I just want to make sure on their end it's fine. So, ticking time. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? Well, I'm having the same as Dirk. Let me get rid of that screen there. We're both having a Spritz Select. You can see Dirk's, you can't see mine. But mine matches my old Regal background there from the times of the Bards.
Magnifico.
We're having Spritz Select, which I've mentioned on the channel a few times recently. Great summer drink. Volume is fine, says Mr. Badges. Thank you so much. So, what are you going to do? You going to buy one?
Yeah, it's telling me that Chrome has lost permission to capture my screen. What does that mean?
Okay, it's because you're in that new operating system. Anyway, I don't see why someone wouldn't buy every single one of these fakes. Because let's face it, when you buy a fake watch, and I've bought a few for the channel, hey, they look good from a distance. In fact, some of them are built pretty well. Depends on how much money you spend, of course. I never spent a lot on one. But of course, the movement on the inside is eventually going to fail. There's no quality control. It's probably a cheap movement. It's under the hood. It's fake. Whereas this thing is going to be a quartz movement, cheap quartz movement, just like the Moonswatch has. It's plastic, just like the Moonswatch. They don't really have to make a huge leap to reproduce this thing. In fact, they probably 3D printed it. That's what I thought. Because you can 3D print
They
things.
They totally did that.
Right. I mean, they didn't have to get in with metal 904L steel or 316L. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to restart Chrome real quick. Bye.
Okay. He's having issues. He went up to Monterey, the new operating system. And there's always those creases to iron out. Who have we got in the house? Slightly buzzed is sipping on some tequila, which is always recommended in the heat. And George Masclade says Moonswatches are Swiss made. Is that real? Is that true? Are the Swiss putting together pieces of plastic like that?
Okay. I don't know if that's true.
I guess a Swatch is Swiss made. It's a Swiss made watch. Swatches are. So I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Okay, fine. I guess they're Swiss made. If that's what. There you go. Chibers. Yeah, made in the Swiss factory. All right. Okay, well, at least there's a difference. But to me, like a cheap plastic watch with a quartz movement, it's like much of a muchness, as they say.
Much of a muchness.
So apparently now people are going into Swatch stores and having like a conversation like you would have at a Rolex AD, just kind of, hey, have you got one? And they go, yeah, but don't show anyone that we're giving it to you. And they kind of slip it into your bag and you pay them. That way you're not walking out with a Swatch, with a Moonswatch, and people will see it and go crazy. That's the new techniques now that they've taken on. I gave up. I mean, I didn't try very hard in the first place.
I tried twice, and that was it. And I gave up because I don't want it that bad. But I will buy that. But Chrome is not letting us. It's Monterey. I upgraded my system to Monterey from my recording studio, which was a disaster. And it's not letting me share my screen at all, even though I just did what it told me to do.
All right.
I even left the broadcast for half a second.
Images.
Oh, you know what I probably should have done? Oh, ticking time. Thank you.
$50 ticking time. Thank you so much. Here's a little bit more for the camera phone. Thank you so much, because my camera died. Please keep doing what you do. Best channel on YouTube. Thank you so much. Ticking time. Some people were getting a little peeved because they're like, hold on, he's asking for help to buy a camera, and he has in the video I had an AP Royal Oak offshore on. And it raised that question, like, people are going, why are we going to give you money when you have such amazing watches? Well, how do I broach that? First of all, I'm buying the thing anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you want to help me out? Okay. If you don't, I'll still buy it. Second of all, you'll never, if all of you send money, it'll never cover the cost of it. I have to buy like high level stuff. I have to upgrade now at this point. So it's going to cost thousands and thousands. And all the donations in the world, I mean, unless everybody donated, which they won't, it won't be covered. So I was just saying, the other thing as well is people ask a lot, like, hey, is there any way I can help the channel more than just like a super chat or whatever? Because they really feel emotionally connected. And I'm almost giving them like a great way to, I'm giving them something to feel connected to it. When they see the quality of the new camera, that'll partly be down to them. And so they'll feel somehow involved, which they will be involved. That's a great way to be involved. And then, of course, I did mention that You know, when you guys are watching videos and you see commercials, that's because the YouTubers making this stuff put those commercials there in most cases. And they're making money. And you have to sit through that commercial or skip it because they put it there. If you see it on my channel, it's because it was automatically put there by YouTube because I used nice music, like classical music or something. I would never put commercials. I'm not interested in putting there's commercials on that actual video just to see what I would earn. But most of my videos don't earn any money at all. So I think people need to put it into perspective a little bit. Lastly, if I have an AP on the wrist, the AP is for me. That's my watch. The channel isn't for me. The channel is for you guys watching. I do it for you guys. Like it's good fun for me and it's good outputs and outlet, but it's not. I lose money on the channel, absolutely. And I lose a lot of time doing it. I enjoy doing it. It's not like I'm forced to do it, but it's for you guys. So if I didn't have a channel and I broke that camera, I would not spend money replacing it because I would have no need to. I have other things. I've got my iPhone, which has a camera on it. I've got other camera equipment. The only reason I'm getting it is to keep going with the channel. So if you care and you like the channel, you're happy to go, hey, I'm going to throw in my $10. So I think you need to, people who have an issue there with that, they need to just recalibrate for a second. And I'll remind you guys, I think most of the detractors, most of the people complaining as well, they're probably Archie fans. And that guy just does nothing but e-beg constantly. So it's like, are you going to get on my case? I don't know. For once in a blue moon saying, hey, if you want to give me a hand, get a better camera. After all, if we all chip in, we can get the best camera possible. And everyone will see the result. Anyway, I think I've made my point. So, Gary Brawley, thank you, man. We love watching, so keep doing it. Yes. As long as I have a camera to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it. Ticking time again, man. Whoops-a-daisy. Gone. This is for all the punters out there. Support the channel, guys. Thanks so much, guys. And thank you, Ticking Time. So, see, Dan Watkins, maybe you were dropped on your head as a child or something. No, the AP is not Spencer's. It's completely and 100% mine. So now I got to block you, man. Because I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, brother. You need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, my friend. Or if you're going to spew nonsense like that, you should keep up with your information. I don't have PayPal. How do we help? Gary Brawley doesn't. I don't think you need PayPal to make a contribution. I think you can go on to PayPal and actually do it even if you don't have a PayPal account. But otherwise, I don't know, Super Chat or something, or just, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Or go on Patreon. Are you a Patreon member? That's a good way to support the channel. And the Patreon patrons are usually, quite often they're thanked in my big videos by name. And I have little newsletters that I give them and so on. I should be better with that, actually. I should give them more stuff. Dirk's back. Did you get past your issues, man?
I hope so.
Mike Girard, 13.99. Thank you so much, man, for the camera fund and to get Dirk to remind us all of the recipe for proper spritz. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Mark.
Does this look correct?
Yeah, I see it. I hope your credit card info isn't in there. No, it's not. You're doing PayPal.
I did PayPal.
Yeah. So it's costing you what, 30?
$26.93, shipping $3.37. I'm gonna get it on August 21st.
It's not so bad. That's a lot sooner than you'd get a real one. and it's only $30. That's the price of a couple of drinks. Do you want me to remove this so your info doesn't go up on the screen?
Do you see? You don't see anything, right?
No, I don't see anything. No, let's not put your address on there.
Okay.
Go ahead and do all your stuff,
Why
and
is
then we
that
can
not
show
in
them.
there?
$30, and you got the mission to Mercury.
Yes.
Cool, man. You know, I wanted one. I mean, not for me, for the channel, you know, to show it on the channel. Now I'm thinking I should do a real versus fake. If I can get a real one and then the fake one to illustrate the differences, because people won't know then, you know. They'll be buying them on eBay for $650 and staring at it going, is it real or not? I have no idea. Like the fake one even had like a fake barcode on the back and everything.
Almost
Zane Minty said, do a live unboxing.
We'll
We
totally
can do a live unboxing then when it arrives. We'll do iBashers live unboxing. Chibbers for the camera phone. Thanks, Chibbers. Not sure if you got it yet, but I hope you liked my gift. It kept going on about. Is that a way of saying it kept going on about? Is that like it kept going around and around? Is that a way of saying? Chibbers, remind me what it is, because a lot of stuff came in the mail this week and I can never keep track of people's real names versus their eBay handle. I got a book. I got a bottle. What else came? Well, something else came. I can't remember. Just remind me, my friend. Sorry about that. Too many people. I swear I need a secretary. I need 2 secretaries to remind me of things and people and promises that I make and so on.
Okay,
Thank you,
I think
Declan.
I'm ready to hit.
Thank you, Declan. McKinn, block the machine. You can't fix stupid. I did, man. Thanks. Here it is. You're up on the screen now. It's showing your pay. It's probably opened another screen that we can't see. It's pending for the. Oh, okay, there we go. So it's $32.88 in dollars then. AliExpress payment successful.
Well done.
Now it just showed your goddamn address. Look at that.
That's all right. Send me if you want to send me things, you can.
Right. Ticking time is having Redbreast 15. Well, great. Okay. I want to see this thing. I guess I'll order one too.
I mean, $32? Sure, why not? Sapphire crystal? Sure.
Why not?
Battery from Maxell? Sure. It's just like the Moonswatch. I don't see a difference. I honestly, they even said that the finishing is even better in some regards. So,
Certainly, if it has a real sapphire crystal.
I mean, wouldn't that be crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a novelty, right? It's just a novelty. It's not a Speedmaster. It's a novelty. So it'll be fun. And then people say, what is that? And I'll say, it's a Moonswatch-ish. Because it's an homage. It's a fake of a fake, right?
It's a fake of a fake. There, you hit the nail right on the head. Yeah. I'm actually enjoying this snow behind me because I'm getting a little breeze coming through the window. It's been insanely hot here, but not any hotter than it normally is. I know Ireland and England are experiencing big heat waves like they've never seen before. My daughter, who's very woke, she put a thing on her Instagram, some guy with a sign in his hand, like Andy Warhol style. The sign says, "This is the coldest summer of the rest of your life."
Because of global warming, etc.
Yeah, etc. Yes.
She's probably not wrong. I mean, but no one believes the truth anymore. So no matter what kind of facts you have, someone is going to say it's fake news. And we've been down that road. It's like one of the only things that Donald Trump did that was incredible was create this kind of legacy of facts are not true anymore.
Spin.
Yeah. It's amazing that everyone now uses fake news, and no matter, like, I didn't hit that person with my car. That's not my car in the video. That's not
me. It wasn't me. Remember that song?
Me. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Caught you in the kitchen. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Just deny. Gary Brawley, £20. Camera machine. Thanks for Sterling Moss. Oh yeah, you like that video? Thank you so much.
And he spelt it correctly too.
He did. Kurt Callan, do you have it? Oh, he put in a question just below. I donated a camera fund through PayPal. It's the least of any of us can do for the amazing content. Thank you so much, Kurt. Fantastic, fabulous. I'll leave that up there for a minute. Yeah, I was looking at camera gear. I mean, it's going to be, if I want to go up a level, which I suppose is what I have to do. I mean, when your gear breaks, it's an opportunity to go up a level, correct? Like, you could just replace it, or you could say, okay, now's the time to step things up a notch. So, but the problem with the camera world is there's a certain step between $1,000 and $6,000. You know, it's a bit like watches. You have a $1,000 Longines, you want to go up to an Omega, now you're up to 5,000. You know. So it's the same thing with cameras, and you have to remember as well, you get if you step into a new ecosystem, like you go from Canon to Sony or some other thing, then you got all the lenses you got to get as well. And, you know, the channel, I use wide angle, 1850 to 55, 24 millimeter, and zoom. I have several lenses, you know, to keep the eye entertained. So, if I move into Sony, for example, which might be the next step, because the next step in Canon is going up to a C70, which is $6,000 just for the body. And the next step above that is Red, Epic, or Dragon or something. If I go into Sony, I'm going to have to replace all the lenses as well. Red Dragon, and Epic, and what's the new one? Raptor or something.
That's the Red.
I use Red.
Movies on Red.
Yeah. I
used shot Red on the
Seiko video.
Wow.
The famous Seiko video, the grenade dialed turtle. That's a Red, and you can see it. You can really see it. Like, the quality is like, oh shit.
I mean, we're technological and digital geeks, but at the end of the day, don't you wish you were shooting that on a Panaflex?
I know.
Don't you wish it was film, because it would just look so beautiful?
Yeah. What was our next?
Hey, Spielberg still hasn't shot in digital yet. He hasn't done it.
I know. I had a big discussion with Lydia about this last night over dinner. She's a proponent of digital, and she thinks this hanging on to old ways is just old.
Does she really? I'm surprised by her, because she's such a fan of French cinema and vintage Italian cinema, Cinecittà.
Oh, she loves the quality. She's like, why? You know, it's very rich to say when Christopher Nolan goes, oh, I'd much rather shoot to IMAX. Oh yeah, you've got the budget for it, man.
We didn't always. Didn't always, though.
He didn't always.
So
but it's like, if you have the budget for it, great. Also, like, there's no room for mistakes and so on with film. You shoot something that's slightly out of focus, and you discover later in the editing. Whereas with digital, you get to reference all the time. So it just means that it's not just the film that's costing you a lot of money, it's the process. So we had a long discussion about it. Also, at this point, digital has come up to a level that film is, you know, pretty much.
As long as you get your frame rights right and all that stuff. Can I change the subject real quick? Not to do hard left, but Dirk Diggler is getting angry at us because he says you forget his super chats. So he super chatted us $5, and he says, how much for Dirk to eat a steak?
You could never pay him enough.
I mean, how much would it cost for you to perform fellatio?
There you go.
That's how much.
I
Never.
can't believe I missed his super chat. Sorry, Dirk. Darren Roberts, 17.99. If PayPal skimmed any of my $100 donation of the camera fund, as I didn't spot the friends and family option, hopefully super chat covers it. Thank you. Yeah, PayPal skim it. I was trying to let people know to use friends and family because it is a donation. It is not a purchase. Honestly, it's really just about proving, because PayPal then lock up a lot of the money and they go, okay, we want to see shipping numbers and so on. Because if you're selling product, we want to see that you're shipping it, or we want to see receipts and so on. I'm like, no, it ain't. It's just donations. So, but they don't make it easy. They make it hard for people to find that. It's very easy to miss and just click, and then you send it and they take their lump sum. So the next topic was James Webb. We didn't talk about it, Dirk.
I mean, I'm sure you've watched every video there is about it, right?
Yes.
I just want them to point it at freaking Proxima Centauri. Could you just point it at that so we can get that over with? Can we just get that over with?
Civilizations and like planes.
There isn't. No. It's a red dwarf. It's fully radiating the entire Goldilocks zone. We know that red dwarfs are, highly unpredictable and are prone to solar flares, to the point where unless you have a stable magnetic core, you're not going to be able to deflect any of that, and you're not going to have an atmosphere, etc. Having said that, it's 4.27 light years away, so I can't be sure, but I think, wouldn't it be great if they pointed they will, so we could just write that off, because it's too close. It's just, even though it's really far away, it's too close. It's the closest exoplanet to our solar system, and for that to have life would just be, miraculous, considering the vastness of space. But yeah, I've been watching all that, the nebula. It's incredible.
Isn't it unbelievable? Like,
it's porn. It's just absolute.
It's porn. It's like, oh my god, we're seeing so clearly into the past. I think one of the images sees about 13.5 billion years back.
Yeah, which is just about it.
Just about it.
We know.
And it's only a matter of time before they get a 13.9 billion year old spot where they actually see the origin of the universe. Hopefully.
I watched a cool video the other day, and it was a guy that I don't usually watch. I watch Simply Space. I watch all of them, and it was a channel I'd never seen. And it was some guy who was kind of like a mock philosopher, and he said, well, what came before Big Bang? Nothing. And then somebody wrote, well, who made nothing?
Well, that's a question that's been going around for years.
I know, but who made the nothing?
Yeah, because nothing is it's the wrong concept, right?
Right. I think it's Horton Hears a Who. I think it's Dr. Seuss. I believe that anybody who's familiar with Horton Hears a Who, there's a, a dandelion, when it has all the seeds on it and you blow on them and they go flying, right? So the elephant Horton hears, we are here, and it's this speck of dust floating through the air, and he hears them and he acknowledges that they exist in a totally other realm, a whole other universe of sorts, and everyone around him thinks he's crazy. It has to be that. We have to be this thing in a thing in a thing in a thing. We have to be. It's a Russian doll. We have to be that. Because what else could it be? Aren't we some kind of weird science experiment? And our time, our 13.75 billion years, is really just a nanosecond in a beaker somewhere?
Yeah, it's been going around for a long time, that discussion, that idea, that hypothesis. Look, come on. Sky's the limit. Multiverse, all sorts of dimensions. There's a lot of stuff. For now, the best we can do is stare back in time across the universe. And James Webb has made that even more possible. I was thinking about also the fact that it was so hard to put that whole project together, and there's so many things that could have gone wrong, and it worked anyway. It's just amazing because I remember speaking with you about this back at Christmas. Remember they launched it? And was it Christmas Day? They
Christmas
launched it?
Day. We were on the phone for
Yeah.
hours.
And I was
'Cause
like,
it
well,
was-
hold on. The thing has to get up there. It has to unfold correctly. There's so many things that could go wrong. And you were like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
It was 366 unique maneuvers that could fail.
Right.
And we were like, oh. I mean, we're talking about every hinge, every single pivot, every single point, everything that could have, and it worked, and they did it. And they got it to Lagrange 2, right? They got it that far out.
Yeah. There was less radiation and so on, and clearer
And
images.
cold, really cold.
Really fucking cold.
Because they
But
needed
cold is great for electronics, you know.
Sure, they needed cold.
Electronics love cold, man.
Yeah.
They be heating up. I'd love to know what like microprocessors are on that thing. They're probably old.
They're
That's
probably made by
usually-
Texas Instruments.
Yeah, they're probably like older stuff that's been well ironed out, like not brand new technology. That's usually the case.
They're
Tried and
Pentiums with
tested.
MMX.
Yeah, 266.
266. I bought the 266 in the package and installed it myself on my old Vio.
I did that with like 100.
Yeah, I loved doing that. You were like the
I like the
overclocked
Celeron
kid. Oh, did you? Oh, wow.
because the Celeron had less cache
It did.
memory, so you could overclock it more. So the Pentium was like 10 times the price, not
Yeah,
10
it
times,
was.
like 5 times. And it was fancy looking. The Celeron didn't have a case on it. Or anything. We're going super geeky here. Sorry, guys. The Celeron was the same as a Pentium, and but it had no case on it. It looked cheaper and had less cache RAM. But because the cache RAM would fail first if you overclocked it, so you could overclock like a 133 or 266 to like 500 megahertz, so or 600 megahertz. So I was overclocking the shit out of the Celeron. It was great for gaming.
How much
Whereas I
thermal
was
paste did you use?
I didn't use any thermal paste. It's just like, you know, stick a fan next, you know. Yeah.
Those were the good old days when you could take computers apart and you could go to CompUSA here in New York.
Think
you
of the
go to Fifth
processing
Avenue.
power though in this in comparison.
Oh, I know. It blows away all of the computers I used to
Think of
take
it.
apart.
Think of it.
That's a very
Crazy.
snazzy case you have there. It's
Thank
kind
you.
of a
It's a bit
sexy leather case.
Leathery.
Oh, that's very nice.
Every time I drop this thing, it's fine. It never cracks. Or
Every time
you know,
drop
you know
this
what I
thing, it's
did. You
fun.
know why I put this on? Because when I ordered this thing, I got the Dubai edition.
So it's gold. Oh, right. Yeah.
I
Right,
got the
well,
gold.
that's
The gold. It's very Dubai. Come to Dubai. Yeah, it's a little shit. And I was like, I should have got the blue. Damn it.
The blue
This
wasn't
looks-
out yet, was it?
No, it was
Oh,
out.
that's
It
the
was
13.
out. It was out. I just
Yeah.
went because the gold looked nice in photos, but then when I got it, I was like, oh god, it's really Emirates first class or something. You
It
know?
is. It's
all
a-
that
it's like
gold and wood
gold-plated.
every. Yeah,
Right.
it's like
It's like you're gonna
can't
have
you
some
guys just
Krug.
slow down on the slow down on the fucking gold, guys.
When is the Maybach gonna come and pull up to take you to your gate? That's what they have. They have a Maybach that comes, or a Maybach that comes and picks you up at your home and takes you to your gate to the check-in at Emirates. And you get. They have a new first class. Have you seen it? They've toned down the gilding.
Oh, I
It's
haven't.
actually that's the one with the virtual windows. So
you
what they've
keep
done.
up to date with these things.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
this is my whole life. So if you get on a 777, as you know, that's a twin aisle jumbo. So what they've done on Emirates is every aisle has a window seat. So even if you're in the center of the plane, they have split them in half and they've put a video window on the seat. So, but they have cameras on the outside of the plane that mimic the exact thing that's happening.
Oh, that's
on that-
that's awful.
It's crazy. You can watch a million videos. People will demonstrate it in flight. So basically, this guy has a window and I have a window, but my window is a virtual window.
They do that on cruises.
Ugh,
So-
do they?
some-
For inside
certain-
cabins.
For inside cabins to see like you have it's where a window would be. It's even got a bloody curtain like a window, but it's just a huge OLED or whatever it is screen with a live feed of what's actually happening on the outside, so you feel like you're looking out the window.
It's an old trick. Like, you know, you go into a funeral home and they have like a blank cinder block wall that just has curtains, a window treatment on it, so you think it's a window. They did that. They've been doing that on TV for years, but now they've decided that so you can just sit there with your cocktail and look out the window and see everybody on the ramp, and they're really doing that because it's in real time.
Oh, it's a live feed.
It's a live feed, yeah.
I guess that's better than just some pre-made image or something.
It seems like a waste of money. Just sit in your seat and drink your champagne and shut up.
Yeah, can't they use whatever money they put into that, just more booze and
more booze?
Like it's a well-known thing that the more electronics that are on a plane, the less safe it is, because there are more things that can go on fire. The more wiring there is, there are more things that can go on fire, and fire is a thing you don't want on the plane.
What does it remind you of immediately? Now, back in the day when personal electronic devices were not a thing, where you would get movies, you know, like a on demand. One of the first airlines to have that was Swiss Air, and they had installed them on their MD-11 aircraft. I believe it was like 94, and there was a fire and the plane crashed, and it was because of the entertainment system that did it.
Yeah.
So,
but they can't sell tickets. It's all down to like risk management and business. They can't sell as many tickets if they don't have the entertainment. So the safer the plane, the more boring the flight, and people won't go on a boring flight. So they have they have to weigh up their options. I figure, like, just tell everybody, can't their slogan be this? Whatever air, you know, United Air will get you drunk.
Ryanair should say that, because that's all they're worth. Right. Ryanair, at least we get you drunk.
At least we get you drunk. There's no TV. There's no entertainment system. There's no headphones.
There's the lottery.
There's no fucking ice cream. There's a quote, guys. There's a quote. Anybody got to get this? No TV, no microwaves, no booze, no women, no fucking ice cream. All we've got here is shit. There's a quote. Can anybody get that?
I know it is.
I hope Emmett's not watching, because he'll just crush it. He'll ruin the party. Can anyone get that? All we've got here is shit. No fucking ice cream. There's a film full of great little performances by. I was discussing that recently on one of my live streams.
You're talking about SB, right?
SB. I was talking about the. Now everybody's guessing here. The performance by that guy in Shawshank Redemption, who's like, and that's the best part. She's screwing this golf pro. And, yeah, and he's the one they pinned it on. and that little role, that guy, and that's the best part. He starts to give me shit, you know. I just, for some reason, I went into that quote, and then the whole conversation sparked up about little roles, tiny roles, miniature roles. Oh, there we are. That changed the movie, like where the actor just kind of owns the movie for the time that he's in it. Alien 3, thank you, Justin. Travels and watches Aliens 3. It's exactly it.
I don't know. I mean, I know that's David Fincher.
Yeah, and she's looking around because she lands on Fury 926 or whatever the name of the planet is, and she crash lands, and it's a prison,
right? And
they have about like 80 dudes in a prison, and they're all like slave labor, and they have a religion and all sorts of stuff. And then, but there's an alien. She brings an alien down, unbeknownst to anyone, and they figure out there's an alien. And she's like, well, where are your weapons? And so she figures out, she's like, wait, you have no weapons here? They were like, no. And then one of the guys goes on a rant. No, we don't have microwaves either. We don't have no booze, no women, no fucking ice cream. I love that bit. It's like he's trying to make her understand. We don't have anything here. We live in pure poverty. It's a great, great scene.
Who is the
Mostly
actor?
British cast in Alien 3, Justin. You're right. Very British, including Charles Dance. My favorite line of his in that film, she strips off. He's a doctor. She strips off and he goes, you might want to keep yourself covered while you're here. Most of these men haven't seen a woman in a long time, you know. And then he turns around to like get his stuff, whatever medical stuff. And he kind of says to himself, neither have I for that matter. I love Charles Dance. You like Charles Dance?
Sure. What's not to love about Charles Dance?
Yeah, it's great actor.
Criminally underused actor as well. Criminally.
He was Lord Mountbatten in The Crown, right?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
And perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection. Yeah. I just find like there's so many great British actors that there's not enough roles to handle them all. But The Crown seems to do a pretty good job of getting most of them. Because there's been some Helena Bonham Carter in that. Could you believe her in that?
She's the greatest actor.
It was magical shit. She was magic. Now, how did you feel about the one that's half British, half American? She played Maggie Thatcher. I thought she was fucking unreal in that thing.
What's her name from the X-Files?
Yeah, X-Files. What's that?
John Paleo. I'm wearing a Christopher Ward summer watch, man. Super compressor.
It's teal.
She was amazing in that.
That was outrageousness.
Yeah.
I mean, we all love Meryl Streep, and she's great, and she was the Iron Lady, and we have our own personal opinions for a lot of good reasons about who the actual woman was. But as far as the artistic portrayal of the woman, I have never seen anything like that in my entire existence. It was outrageous.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah,
thank you, Sergio.
Yeah, thank you. It was genius. The only other that was the second best acting performance I've ever seen in my life. The first one, the greatest performance I've ever seen by an actor. Well, I'm gonna say, that's hard. Was in Fosse Verdon, and it's Michelle Williams, who also did another when she was in Brokeback Mountain. That she was the wife. And there was a scene where she was playing with the tackle box that she knew had never been used because these guys were not really going fishing. They were lovers, etc.
Right.
And she gave him this whole thing about this tackle box never being used, and it was incredible. But in Fosse Verdon, she became Gwen Verdon to a point where I have never in my life felt so immersed in a portrayal. It was the most astonishing acting I have ever seen. If you haven't seen it, it's about Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon and their crazy life that they had and how incredibly talented they both were. They're super accomplished dancers, choreographers, directors. And wow, was she great. But that's the second one after seeing Gillian Anderson.
Tim Wright in the house.
Oh, look at that.
Come back, Tim. I have to do a Tim impersonation. Timmy, come back.
Timmy, come back.
You can blame
any kind of fool would see camera fund, and we just can't live with. Dun, 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 dun. It's great. Name that band. Baby, come back.
You mentioned them before.
Oh, right. I have Player.
Player.
One hit one.
We wrote a song called Player. The Player.
The Player, but it's not about that.
No,
certainly not.
Let's get that camera, guys. Woo woos. Yes.
What does a camera like that go for?
Well, I mean, if I go up, if I'm going up in level for the channel, see, the problem with my channel is it's a little bit more than just hands on a desk and all that, right? That's the problem. I take on this artistic thing, right?
No, it's cinema.
Yeah, it's like cinema. So I should be pointing at the cinema level. Okay, I'll tell you what my dream is. Apart from the red, let's not go to red, okay? Because that's when things get stupid money. That's when your memory cartridges are $1,200 each, and you get about 6 minutes of AK on each one. Like, it's pathetic. It's film level. Like, let's not go there. My dream is a C7, Canon C7, but it's like $6,000 for the body. Then you've got all the batteries. You have to remember that. Like you go out and you film, you need the batteries. You need to like bring 6 batteries with you. You don't want to be in the middle of a shot and then your batteries run out. And then the lenses. So you're taking on a lot. It's just a lot. I could replace what I broke for under $1,000 and just keep going. Or I can say, okay, let's bring it up. You know, like Adrian Barkenjack, he has that A7 Sony thing. I think he has the 3, and that thing is $2,500 just for the body. And the A4 now. Sony is beautiful shit. It's beautiful shit. Then I have other concerns. I need the autofocus to work really fast because I do focus pulls all the time. So I need a camera that can autofocus really well on command. It needs to have the screen has to flip around. There's so many things.
Who does that the best?
Sony do it really well. Canon do it really well.
Who does it?
Nikon, I'm not even going to look at. Nikon or Nikon. I'm not even going to look at that.
Would that be outerworldly expensive? What about Leica?
Leica is for still photography. That's what Leica are good at. They don't do video. You know how many photos I've actually snapped with my cameras? Very few. It's all video. No, Canon are great. Black Magic, that's what Jenny L uses. That shit is high level. That's what the guys at Watchfinder use. Adrian's on Sony. His quality is beautiful. He's a really good filmographer and photographer. And then, you can keep going up and up and up. You know, you can get crazy. And the lenses are sometimes the most expensive, in most cases, the most expensive part. The body is considered kind of disposable. You get 3 years out of the body, you're lucky. Whereas the lens can last 30 years, you know?
Is that true? Meanwhile,
well,
film cameras, people are still using their rangefinders from the 40s and 50s.
Right.
But the new ones, wow, that's a shame.
Dude, when you watch BBC Planet Earth, you know, that shit, like deep blue and Planet Earth and all, those lenses are $100,000.
Oh, of course they are.
These guys are in a tree for 6 months waiting for some
rare
bird to come out.
Those are like Ricoh or Nikkor or Leica lenses.
And they're this length, you know.
Carl Zeiss.
The glass on them is this size, you know.
Yeah, that's a totally different animal.
Other level.
James Cameron's underwater sea lenses. So, you know.
Strickland.
Evening, Mr. Strickland. Good evening.
Oh, look at that! I like that. Justin Bailey. He prefers Casino to Goodfellas. I like Casino. I love Goodfellas. It's a masterpiece. It should have won the Oscar, but he was not their favorite in Hollywood at the time.
No.
Casino, I think, is a masterpiece, and it gets a lot of shit. Why did that come up? What are you guys talking about here?
I don't know.
Two of the greatest things.
This is the kids are talking in the corner.
Yeah, they're all talking in the corner, having their own conversation. Good fellows. Look at that instead of good fellas.
And a guy who spelled De Niro's name right. Everyone writes Robert De Niro's name incorrectly, and that was correct. They write De Niro.
$20 camera phone. Thank you so much, John. Nice. Anyway, listen, James Webb, we didn't talk about it very much. Anything else to say about it? Like, what's the
It's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Okay.
It's this is still the testing phase. They're looking at nebula. They're looking at distant stars and the past, and we're gonna have to put that to work. We're gonna have to put that. Because we really need to get our act together when it comes to what we're going to do with this planet, because we are absolutely 1,000,000% headed towards the Fermi paradox. 100%. We're going to blow ourselves up because no one believes anything is real. And if it's going to be nuclear war or overpopulation, like I said on the channel a couple of weeks ago,
the great filter. He doesn't mean the Fermi paradox. Yeah.
Well, the Fermi paradox is we're going to blow ourselves up. Right?
Fermi paradox is the question why the night sky is dark.
Oh, yeah.
The great filter is one of maybe 600 answers to that. Yeah. The great filter, as in we're gonna fucking destroy ourselves like most any possible intelligent life, space colonizing life
We're
around
never
the
gonna
universe
do that.
probably kills itself before it leaves its planet.
That's why I want them to find it now before it's too late. We need to see a Dyson sphere or
listen.
Somebody who's on the Kardashev scale. We're not.
Listen, it's something that occurs to me all the time when people pass away, famous figures or someone I know, and then something happens, and I think, wow, isn't it amazing they missed that thing? So, like, I'm glad that Bill Hicks never got to see, Trump become president. I'm happy he died before that, because it would have scratched his eyes out of his head. It would have been so hard for him to see his country reduced to that. As one of the most intelligent men that ever walked the face of the earth, Bill Hicks, the great comedian. And then certain other people like, David Bowie never got to see the COVID thing, for example. He missed that. He never saw a pandemic in his lifetime. But we did. And we can, the younger generation can talk about it, in the future. Oh, wow, it was so weird. We all had to stay indoors and be like old tales of this thing that happened. And there are certain moments, like when I saw those high resolution photos of the surface of Mars by the Curiosity.
Yeah.
Or was it the other one? What's the other one? There's the Curiosity and then
Ingenuity. And the most recent one was Curiosity was the first one.
Okay.
Then
whatever the recent one was that has, the 4K camera.
Sure.
And I saw those photos and I was like, well, I'm still alive to see those photos of Mars like in high def. I've lived long enough to see that. Wow, great. Now, I don't expect to live long enough for any sort of interstellar space colonizing activity to happen. That's all going to happen in the lifetimes of my great grandchildren or great grandchildren, if there is such a thing for me, right? But it would be nice for us to discover any single cellular or multicellular life of any evidence of it from elsewhere in the universe in my lifetime.
I hope that's not true. But it probably is. Because we're just a speck of nothing in the course of this thing we call time.
But just to know that life occurs elsewhere in the universe, we have no evidence of it
but
yet.
You know that it does, though. You know it has
I can't
to.
know. I don't. No.
It would be crazy to think that it doesn't. But it's going to be totally different from us, though. It's not going to be like on Star Trek where people have ears and a nose. We're going to look like the aliens in Galaxy Quest. After their hologram real, thing falls off.
Yeah.
We're
so excited to have you.
Oh man, everybody in that movie is just beyond belief. Hey Shannon, that's awfully nice of you.
Yeah, Lecare, shame that Christopher Hitchens never saw Trump's rise to power. I would have loved to see that. Yeah. Well, it was a rise to power, of course it was.
I have a polarizing question, and I don't know if I really want to go here, but did anybody watch the closing of the January 6th hearings? And are you one of those people that listened to these mostly Republican witnesses and their sworn testimony, or do you watch that with disdain and say they're liars?
They don't watch it.
Well, I don't know who they are. I'm just asking.
They're not watching it.
Who's they?
They're not the people who are fans of Trump, and they're not.
No. I know.
It's a great lyric, Rush lyric. It's a Rush lyric from Unpeaceable Kingdom. The people we wish would listen are the ones who won't hear. That's the very people you need the message to get to are the very people it won't get to. We don't need to hear it. We know that the guy. I heard the Steve Bannon thing that somebody recorded in a room where he's going, even if he loses, he's going to say he wins. He's going to do it by midnight and just convince he predicted the whole thing. He saw it all happening because he knew the guy's wild.
Yeah.
But
Steve Bannon.
The whole Steve Bannon.
He's a party man.
Convicted now. I know. But
he's just a pro. I hang on every sentence that guy says. I go, yes.
But
so fun.
It's true. Like with Fox, they were building up to it, and they were like, "This is going to be a charade. This is all going to be acting. This is just a smear thing. It isn't a real trial."
But meanwhile, we've seen the direct text
possibly.
We've seen.
Yeah, I know. You can say whatever you want, and they're going to go, yeah, but it's lies and it's war and it's corruption. And of course they are. Because this is how the world works. You're not, their message will never reach the people who actually need to hear the message.
Thanks, Neo. That's exactly how I feel. Only in America does a failed coup attempt does not result in immediate executions. Amen. That's the way to send a message to people. Execute them. And I don't believe in killing anything, but I do believe in killing asshole people because they're bad machines.
Yeah, remember they reopened the Capitol there, and they resumed operations after that shit.
Unbelievable.
I was on Facebook going, okay, just get 2 warship helicopters with 0.25 millimeter machine guns either side, just hovering.
Yeah.
Anybody goes near that shit, this is the very thing you hold dear, your actual democracy. But of course, they were convinced that their democracy was hijacked. It's a brilliant thing when you say, if I win, but if I lose, it's corrupt. Now you can't win. Or you can't lose. Sorry, you can't lose.
Steve Bannon said that out of his own mouth. Of his own mouth.
There's a terrible example that I thought of when that happened. And I don't mean to put these people down because I love them. But there was a drummer in my lifetime who was an amazing drummer from a family of competitive drummers. And they were all, they were part of competitions. They would go off to another country and do these amazing drumming competitions. And this was their whole life, and they built up to this shit. And quite often they would win. They were the world champions several times over. And when they'd win, they'd come back. And the father, who was a very particular character and a lovable character, but he would always, when they'd win, they'd come back and go, yeah, we won. But when they'd lose, it was never the other guys were better. It was always, it was rigged, or someone didn't know what they were doing. And I'd be like, oh, shit, that's awful. Oh, sorry to hear that. You didn't win. Oh, shit, that's... And because it was set up. It was a rigged. I was like, okay. They never once said, you know what? We lost because we weren't prepared. And the other guys were just better. And I would have believed that more. It's so convenient. When you win, it's cool. All the judges had their heads screwed on correctly that day. But when you lost, something was awry. Now, you go a step further. What if you win and say, I shouldn't have won? Those guys were better. Now you're looking at somebody speaking the truth. Because it's not in their interest to say such a thing. So when Trump just went straight for, if I win, great. If I lose, it's rigged. For people... intelligent grown people who get dressed every day, shower, eat food, wipe their ass, get in a vehicle, for people operating humans to believe that shit, to buy that horse shit, is the lowest form. You're the lowest form of life. Because had he won, also if you believe it was rigged, then why wasn't it rigged the first time? How did he win the first time? If it's full of the, Illuminati powers and the lizard people and, the Clintons and their influence on Capitol Hill, well, then how did he win in the first place? I don't know. Don't get me started. Although I got totally started. All right, let's move on. Next thing. Biden. Well, we're still on politics. The minute I saw that thing, the BBC, Biden got COVID, I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Well, I mean, like everybody in Washington, whatever his date is with COVID will probably be over in 3.5 days. Because I don't believe Trump ever had it. I think that was a tactical move. Biden's an old kind of feeble guy, so he probably, like, for as out of shape and horrible as Trump is as a collection of plasma, etc. Biden's just an old guy. He's an old man, even though he rides a bike and he tries to keep fit. He's old mentally, so it could affect him.
He got old in the past
year.
He got old.
Wrong? He got old and feeble, and I
feel like when he won was just the last flickering of the light, and now it's just. Oof.
Even then, he was still kind of stammery.
Yeah,
you know.
Is there any conspiracy that maybe they're just trying to pull him out before things get really bad and embarrassing? And they're just
no, I don't know if that's true, because then we'll get Kamala Harris, and we have a little private chat amongst our little group that we have, and we were talking about if he died and Kamala Harris became president. I just think his brother said it succinctly. She's just the most shit politician. Like the second,
it's not her job. Yeah, like she's not built for that job. Or
no,
something. Yeah,
she's not. It's just crap.
There's a thing going around TikTok of her going. She's talking about some problem. She's like, "Well, we need to recognize that it is a problem and something needs to be done about it." And then it goes to another guy going, "Cool, that's politics now. There's a problem and something needs to be done about it." That's not this is what we're doing about it. It's a problem and something needs to be done about it. Light politics. Politics light.
Politics light. I had posted, so I don't post anything on Facebook anymore because I don't really give a shit about that forum for people. But the thing that relates to the people buying the bullshit is I'm trying to get the image online so I can share it. And I saw this, and it affected me in such a way that I didn't know how to actually. So let me see if I can get this image up. Oh no, this is what I want. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen.
While you pull that up, let me just go refill my drink. I'll be back in
Go get your drink. I'm gonna get a better shot of this because it's sure there's gonna be Joel. Let's see, Joel, Victoria, Yankee, STAD. I'll get them. Oh, here it is. Much better. Yeah. I want to know what people think of this kind of shit. So, Joel Osteen and his wife, Victoria, are going to be playing at Madison Square at Yankee Stadium. And I find that to be the most frightening thing in the universe. How in the world is it possible that many people will go and see Joel Osteen and his wife? And why? Why would they do that? Any comments? Like, I mean, this is the ultimate in snake oil salesman. I just shared a bunch of screenshots of. He doesn't have cell phone. I just
hear you until now.
I just shared a bunch of screenshots of Joel and Victoria Osteen, and they're playing Yankee Stadium this month. Okay. And tickets are going fast. So they're going to get 70, 80,000 people to come to their nonsense rally. So people who believe the snake oil and people who buy the shit, what kind of people go to Yankee Stadium to go watch that crap?
I can't believe it's happening in the New York area.
Yeah.
Well, people really buy into that shit. They fucking love that stuff.
For those of you who don't know, Joel Osteen is one of those mega church directors. He's a preacher.
You have his picture up?
Huh?
Do you have his picture up?
I could get you another one. Joel.
Did you? Oh, there he is. Okay, got it. I pulled it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. There's a bunch of them. There they are at Yankee Stadium. There's him and his wife. And Listen, they are multimillionaires many times over from their church. This is the guy that wouldn't allow the Hurricane Katrina people into his enclave.
Why is that?
Because he just didn't want them in there. He didn't want anybody loitering on his property. This is a guy that
giving, generous person. Yeah,
he's a Christian,
a man of the people, right?
Yeah, he's a Christian. He's Christ-like. This is a guy that there he is. He's got unbelievable amounts of private jets, Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
Yeah,
and
he's not
just
getting taxed because he's
not getting taxed because he's got a church.
Yeah,
and this is just the ultimate in being an absolute scumbag. And people are going to fill up the Yankee Stadium to listen to this guy and give him money. And I can't believe that would happen in New York because you're like, that guy's a fucking asshole. I'm going to kick that fucking guy's ass when he gets out of the stadium. Him and his stupid.
You're impersonating the average New Yorker, is what you mean. Yeah, like I feel like the average New Yorker is a cynic. The average New Yorker won't buy most stuff. They're cynical people. But
they'll still go to Catholic church though on Sunday though. They'll still do that.
Queens, yeah, but like,
well, you know.
Well, maybe of course up in Harlem as well. Religion is strong. Hey, religion is a strong thing everywhere. What does it do to people? You know,
this is classic.
Let's play. I'll play the devil's advocate. Is he doing any service to the public? Like, is he giving people belief in themselves? Is he helping them out of depression? Is he giving them, a lot of people find God when they feel lonely, when they feel
when they're on drugs, when they feel down, lonely, when they're depressed, when they're boozing. Yeah.
A lot of guys in jail, they've got nothing,
Well,
they got nothing left and they turn to God, they find God in jail.
Yeah, sure.
And
rock bottom equals Jesus. Always. But I don't think most of the people that are going to Yankee Stadium are, just got out of Rikers for the day. I think these are people.
They're not Manhattanites, are they?
I don't know who they are. But this is a guy that, he just double talks like, he almost speaks the scripture, like he kind of just skirts around it, talks about wealth and how important it is, and how he talks about how to increase your personal wealth. It's more of a Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins meets Jesus. It's just the ultimate kind of snake oil pep talks. But I think it's so disturbing that this guy, like, I wrote a letter to CBS because his show shows up on late at night, 2:00 in the morning on CBS. I'm like, man, no, I don't want that on CBS. I don't want to watch. I don't want that on there. My kids are watching. I don't want that shit. I don't have kids, but I told them that. That's like the Scientology channel. Yes, you've heard it. The Scientology channel was going to be on Spectrum, which is our local cable provider. And that was one of the many reasons why I officially dumped cable, because one, it was too expensive, but I got a letter back from Spectrum saying, well, we feel as an equal opportunity provider, they provide certain services to people. I'm like, no, that's a fucking cult. Sorry. And I quit cable over that, because I just can't believe that Scientology is going to have a show, that 24-hour channel. What are you going to have, John Travolta interviews? And Tom Cruise is not going to go near that, because if you notice, he never talks about it.
He avoids it a lot. Yeah,
he avoids it. And his friends say Tom doesn't try to recruit anybody. He doesn't. Like some comedians have said, like Joe Rogan even goes, yeah, I met the guy and he didn't even mention Scientology. I was kind of pissed. I kind of wanted him to kind of try to get me in there, but he didn't. So, but Scientology's, it requires a lot of financial, what is the word? What's the word? Tithing, right? Tithing.
Yeah. You've got to pay. Yeah.
So there's a lot of tithing that goes along with Scientology.
The Mormons do that too. Tithing.
Yeah.
10% of what you earn has to go to your church.
Sure. We just have the basket. You pass the basket around, put in what you can put in there. Like my parents had an envelope every week with the same amount in it.
Right. Yeah, they
plus,
used
plus
to come,
or minus
they used
for
to,
inflation.
now that I think of it, it's flooding. My memories are flooding back. The church would come to our house. They come to all the houses in the area and get the donations. It would be a little envelope, and my mother, my parents, struggling as they were with 5 kids, would always donate something, probably 10 cents or 50 cents or something, to the church. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
We did
well.
it every Sunday. There was this yellow envelope, and it had a picture of our church on the front, and it had a little window for your name, and my mother would put the check in there every week.
Right.
So we all do it, but this is.
But I think we thought of it as a different, like, geez, give them a hand. I don't think we thought any of the priests in Ireland were going around in jets. You know what I mean?
Weren't,
like,
and they weren't. They were lucky if they were having a couple of jars at your local, which they were.
Well, what they'd get offered, oh, Father, let me buy you a drink. Let me,
Sure.
They'd get kind of freebies in that way. Like they go around people's homes and chat and get a cup of tea and some biscuits, from your ma.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Man who supplies comfort to your mother when your father had died and when somebody. Yeah,
that's what. So now there's my question. We come back to it. Are they offering us? Is this Joe Osteen guy actually giving something to people? Because I know a couple of people, friends on Facebook and stuff, who every now and then some photos come up, and I'm like, really? You're at one of those things? And they have captions like, I can't believe I feel so great to be alive, and things like that. Like they come out of, it's like a rock concert. They go and see this guy. It looks like there's a stage, there's lights, there's a huge audience, and they come out feeling reinvigorated, with a new lease for life. So, is it the same then? Instead of buying the T-shirt for the band you just watched, you got something.
I swear to God, I want to get a Joel Osteen T-shirt and wear it.
You should go to the gig.
I should go to the gig.
Talk to the people and go,
why don't I film it for the eye bashers?
Yeah. Go along and talk to the people and say, who are you? You're here with your whole family? Where do you guys live? Do you live in Queens? Do you live in Brooklyn?
No, we're from.
Did you travel
from
far?
Mobile. We're from Alabama, or
we're from Buffalo. We're from Philly.
They're all rural folks because people in the big city know that guy's a piece of shit.
It's their first time. Yeah. In the big city.
We're going to go to a Broadway show. We're going to see Joe Osteen.
New Yorker
is
too cynical.
We're going to go to Mama Leone's restaurant for our Italian food. That closed in the 70s, darling. So you have to go somewhere. You have to go to.
It's not to get back onto Trump. I won't. But the best thing I ever heard about the Trump thing is that because of course he burned every bridge possible in New York. He used to be the icon of success and contracts and so on in New York
in a Robin Leach kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just burned everything because, eventually the New Yorkers saw through him. So when he ran for president, somebody said, I think it was Bill Maher, said, who I'm not always on his side, but sometimes he says brilliant things. He said that he found in the flyover states what he had run out of in New York. Suckers.
Right.
Because the New Yorkers, they fucking see through all that horse shit. And they're just like, what are you trying to sell me, snake oil, you motherfucker? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, if he's doing Yankee Stadium, this guy, Joe Osteen, they're coming in from the little towns. They're spending, that's their first or second time ever in the big city. They're going to be wowed by the big lights in the big city. They're going to be like, ooh, this is where all the gays live. This is where all the woke people are. And they'll think it's all dangerous. And they think, they have ideas about homosexuality. It's like, and that's where the Muslims came. And
Muslims are here.
Yeah.
Lesbians are here.
Yeah, the lesbians and
the
gays and the all the weird stuff they don't understand. Oh, there's a lovely breeze coming in the window. Finally,
can I say something
Maybe
about
that's the gays and the Muslims coming in?
The gays and the lesbians. So I'm not going to say who this is.
It's God.
It's God. It's Jesus, and he's talking to you. And he's
talking
guy
to me through the wind.
There's another guy who's got a muscly body, and he's like, I used to be a homosexual, and then I found Jesus Christ, and he made me taste that vagina, and I liked it. I finally found a way. I'm like watching this guy talk on TV. He's like, I used to be a depraved homosexual, hanging out at the truck stops, drinking the devil's juice, taking a man's penis in my hand. And then the Lord cometh to me, and he showed me the fruits, the beautiful fruits of the heavenly female body. He showed me the vagina, and I finally realized how much I enjoyed that. I mean, it's the sickest shit ever. But I mean, my God, there's no such thing in the world, kids. You know what? You like cock or you don't. You like vagina or you don't. You can't fake it. It is what it is.
And God knows those who do fake it are the saddest people. They're they're lost.
I went down this road we've talked about this on the channel before. I was, minding my own business. And I was sitting in rural Ireland, sitting there having a smoke, looking at the Atlantic. And I was getting cruised by an older man. And we sat down and chatted for a while. And he told me his whole sad story. He's married with kids and how the Lord, how in church and his wife, but he really he's his gay as Christmas. And I felt so sorry for him. He's like, I'd like to come visit you in New York City. I was like, you're a lovely guy. I gave him a big hug. And I said, for the love of God, do what you got to do. But you have kids and a wife who loves you now. You're fucked, man.
Yeah, he went. Yeah,
he went down that route, and
and
he was a lovely guy he was crying. I don't know why he picked me out of the crowd. He was just sat down because I was friendly. I was, hey, nice. He's like, oh, you're from? I said, my whole family's from here, but I'm from New York. And and I even tell you, like, he even knows who I am because I said, my family has a seaweed, very famous seaweed treatment place for your skin in Inniscrone in Ireland, on the main road, right on the bay. It's been there forever. And you can go in there and get like a kelp treatment for your skin, your health. And it's famous. I even told him that, but he never, ever, this was years and years ago, tried to get a hold of me. But I was like, this poor guy led a very, very, very sad lie of a life. I'm sure he loves his wife. I'm sure he loves her as a human being.
Of course.
I'm sure he loves his daughters.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't dressed like Freddie Mercury, but anyway.
Slightly buzzed $10. God is real. However, religion generally is a man-made institution created to govern and capitalize in the name of God. The definition of blasphemy. Interesting. Thank you for that.
God is real, but God isn't the fucking thing that's in the Bible and all those made-up stories by all those dudes. God is the guy that made, the 13.75 billion and the nothing.
Steve Croy, there was one preacher guy, Jesse Lee Peterson, whose shtick was converting gays. And it turned out he was just banging them himself. Yeah.
Of course he was.
That can often happen. Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
the classic.
classic?
Yeah.
Gay conversion therapy, gay immersion therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, what? There are people out there that have lived complete lives of their lives and they're miserable and they do need something. Joel Osteen's not that guy, because he's the guy that's going to tell you that the Bible says you can't do this and you can't do that. You know what? You should be happy.
Why don't people listen to, do some of these people not listen to music? When you meet a person who music never touched them in their life, it's one of the scariest things ever for me.
Isn't that amazing? I'm not really into music.
I'm not into me. Yeah, I have it on in the car on my way to work, but that's about it.
Well, who's your favorite band? I don't have one.
I don't have a favorite. What's your favorite album? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have one.
That's so foreign to me. Like that's like another species.
It can't make sense to you.
Yeah,
at all.
But I think what these people find in these preachers, I find in music. I'll come out of a rock concert going, wow, reinvigorated. Then again, you go to see a stand-up comedian. Some of these stand-up comedians, it's like a spiritual experience. I remember seeing Russell Brand in New York. Now, that guy, he can be a bit of a blowhard. We all know that. But shit, man, I went to see him live with Emmett and Dana years ago. And, man, I walked out of there going, wow, that was powerful.
He's a very bright guy.
Yeah, I mean
Super-
his brain is working very
Very
super
hard.
speed.
He's
like,
overclocked.
my brain doesn't work as fast as that.
He's super overclocked.
Oh, he's overclocked.
Do you know what? You've never done the amount.
He's
of
also very
cocaine that guy's
spiritual,
done.
like an idealist, you know?
He's become a spiritualist because of the cocaine. I'm always doubtful of the people that are super spiritual because they've done way too many drugs. I'm always like, that's you defaulted to that. It's not you naturally. It's you defaulted to that. You know.
That's interesting.
God. And if it gets
see.
you out of that, I tried to watch his channel, and I think he's bright, and I enjoy him sometimes. But I think he's so fucking preachy. Sometimes it makes me angry.
That's his shtick. He's a preacher of sorts.
Ricky Gervais does the opposite. He goes, "Don't like it, fuck it." You don't think so?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais preaches, but in a reverse manner.
Yeah. He's like, well
he's much darker as well. That guy's got the darkest sense of humor of all.
Yeah, and he can be equally like heavy-handed, and sometimes I won't watch The Office.
He didn't do cocaine, by the way. He did heroin. Russell Brand.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Hans was pointing out, and I thought of it also when you said it. Hold on.
Did he not do coke?
I mean, I'm sure he's done coke, you know, but it was heroin was his thing that he had to get off.
Then that would be the reason why, because he's such a lit wire, that heroin is probably the thing that got him out of that. Because heroin does the opposite, right? It kind of just numbs you out.
I'm happy to say I have no idea what it does really to your brain.
I mean, from reading, obviously, you and I are probably the only people I know who don't and have never done drugs.
You know? I'm one of the only people I know who hasn't done cocaine.
And me too. Never done.
Yeah.
Nope. Know lots of people who have.
Pretty sure my mom hasn't done it either.
Sure.
Me and my mom.
I'm sure she hasn't. But from considering the fact that we're both rockers.
Everyone else has.
Rockers.
Yeah, we're rockers. We're in the rock world. Like it's kind of, we're exceptionally odd creatures. Yeah.
Right.
That we got through that. We got through
Dana O'Malley. It was heroin for you don't think, and hold on a second. Let me just fucking there she is. You don't think he did blow at all? I mean,
no, but I'm sure he did some blow. I'm sure he drank plenty of booze.
I think he smoked lots of cigarettes. It was
heroin was the problem.
It was female heroes.
Thing.
When you have balls.
You want to put
it was female heroes for Russell Brand.
Oh, it was female. It was heroin. It was heroin.
That's a female hero.
He did. Yeah.
If you're allowed to say that anymore, because aren't they just heroes?
I bumped into him in the Mercer Lounge. You know what that is? Mercer Lounge.
Sure.
Across from the first Apple store. I mean, I didn't speak to him, but he was coming in the door, and I was going out the door, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's Russell Brand," and he was just hitting on some girl.
Of course he was
hitting on her like in a pathetic manner. Like I was like, "He's Russell Brand. He doesn't have to try so hard." But he was really trying hard, and she was a gorgeous model, it was Soho. And I was like, he's really, he's clingy and he's obsessive and he's, he pushes it. You ever see the interview with him on some talk show, and Catherine McPhee is on there, and he's like, "You're beautiful," and he pushes it hard. I'm like, "Oh, lay off, dude."
She is one of the creepiest, and I'm going to take a hard right here. We talk about all the time about all these beautiful girls that have dated guys that we think are repulsive. I questioned about 10 girls today in regards to who.
Who?
Go ahead. Who have we been talking about? That's
Pete Davidson?
Correct. And 10 out of 10 were like, he's so sexy.
Really?
All of them. This was black girls, white girls, fat girls, skinny girls, girls of all different kinds of possible ethnic and socioeconomic. They all were like, oh. And I said,
wow.
what is the common denominator? Like, he's such a sexy bad boy. They loved him.
Wow.
And then the one girl that I know was gonna say ew gross, she was like, oh, in a heartbeat. Pete Davidson.
Pete fucking Davidson. Well, then that's it. I mean, don't listen to the wear a nice suit, look good, shave.
No. Don't shower.
Don't shower. Don't do anything.
Don't
It doesn't
shower.
matter. What
Be a
women
skank.
find attractive in men is a mystery to both sexes.
What's the male equivalent of a skank?
I don't know. What's the female equivalent of a Pete Davidson? What's a woman? Okay, here's a great question. If I say so myself.
Chloe.
Chloe. Oh my God, you got it immediately. Oh, you're
She's
so
Davidson.
right.
Yeah.
I was about to pontificate there for fucking half an hour on this, and you just crushed it.
Yeah.
Chloe.
Chloe.
She
Chloe's Pete
tried so hard, and I wouldn't go near her. And it ignited the ire of some of the audience, by the way, who fancied her, and they took it to heart that I didn't want
Well,
it.
guys are desperate and they have to masturbate.
No, but I've met I met one guy who has his pick of beautiful women, and he was going on about that Chloe girl. I just want to. And I was like, really? You into fellas too? Like, to me, she looks like a boy or something. Like,
Well, she doesn't as much look like a boy to me as she looks like Fantine or whoever the canker sword whore is in Les Miserables. Whoever the one is filled with pox on
she
the.
also
on
has
the
that.
docks.
Why do French people have an issue with like
Because-
incredible bad sleep lines? Like they've never slept in their life.
Because
I've seen
they're
it. Like
always
Jean Reno.
Drinking, the smoking, the fucking.
No, but Jean Reno, he's a great actor. He has that fucking. There's a lot of this.
He's an ugly guy, though. He's a very unattractive man.
Yeah, Jean Reno isn't right.
He's an ugly guy.
He's good in Leon. He looks good. He's fit and doing
It's
sit-ups
good to see
and
good
stuff.
Like French guys, yeah, Alain Delon. You know, he was.
You're
beautiful.
so right about Chloe. That's exactly it. Like,
Yeah.
I met guys at the London Watch Show. They were like, I knocked one out looking at that video. I'm like,
horrible.
what? First of all, I'm in the frame. Can you? Maybe they were looking at it like, I don't know, and she was like drawing on her leg or something. But like, this must be it. Like, Dana, we were talking about Chloe, the French girl who was in my pronunciations video. Because I was just about to ask the question, or I just got to, like, what's the female equivalent of a Pete Davidson? In other words, we men, we're kind of happy for Pete. I'm happy for Pete Davidson. It's fucking great. And when he started dating these beautiful women, a lot of people would stop him on the street and go, dude, you give me hope. Because he isn't a Jason Statham or a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt. He's a really regular looking dude. In fact, he's less than regular. He's a fucking weird.
And he
looking
just
dude,
looks
right?
like your nephew's stoned friend.
And the Saturday Night Live, the cast voted him cast member most likely to be in need of a blood transfusion. Something like, including him. He's like, yeah, I do look fucking weird, right? But so we're all stunned that like Kate Beckinsale, like of all women, but I guess Chloe is a perfect example. Okay, so in the star world, in the celebrity world, what's a woman that men go mad for that women, any women watching, all three of you or whatever, tell us what woman you don't understand men going crazy for. I know Dana is going to say Sofia Vergara because she looks like a tranny.
So is Dana saying she'd put the P in the V with Pete Davidson? So that's a yes, Dana? You'd like, that's your get out of jail free with.
So she likes Pete Davidson.
I don't believe
She
that.
said before that he has big dick energy, whatever that means.
Okay, well, so does Ron Jeremy. And he looks like a hedgehog.
She says yes, 100%. She's into Pete Davidson. So what's the female? Let's get off it because
listen, Nick,
so
Angelina
confusing.
Jolie is like as crazy, batshit crazy and stupid as she is. She's still physically an outrageous.
So Nick Nicole, let me clarify. Nick Nicole said Angelina Jolie ? Well, I think a lot of women actually really like Angelina Jolie. We men go, she's stoic and statuesque, but not necessarily sexy. Whereas women, I find, go, wow, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So this is not a good example. I'm looking for the opposite. I'm looking for women going, oh, she isn't gorgeous, she isn't sexy, no one will like her, and then every man likes her. Is there an example? Please give me an example. Any women watching, because men can't answer this question.
I like what Steve said here. I don't see it. Oh, sorry. Can we go back to that? He wrote, I don't see it, but granted, Osteen thinks I'm a weirdo for liking ladies with tats. Well, hey, we all know that.
I don't think you're weird.
Everyone has tats now. Everyone. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a curvy redhead with a rockabilly look, like Christina Hendricks meets Amy Winehouse. Christina Hendricks is one of the most ravishing.
Amy Winehouse is not to me, but Christina Hendricks.
Her talent is outrageous.
She's beautiful. I mean,
Christina
she's a lot of
Hendricks
sexiness.
Wow.
Amy Winehouse, I don't find to be a particular. Is that a?
She
is
was
that
not a
woman
good
that men
looking
go
book.
mad?
No, nobody.
But more. My question is pointing again, just to clarify. Sorry, women confused that men like this certain woman. Who the fuck is it? Olivia Colman? No, men don't go mad for Olivia Colman.
Who said Olivia Colman?
You guys aren't fucking. Look, one guy goes Grace Jones. No, they don't go mad for Grace Jones. This is not a Pete Davidson equivalent, a mirror opposite Hillary Clinton. Shade.
Said no one ever. Oh my
Said
God.
no one ever.
Anna Kendrick came out. She's a lesbian. She's gay now. Kristen Stewart. She's gay too.
Okay, yeah, Mike S. Anna Kendrick. Do women oppose men liking Anna Kendrick? No. So again, you're getting my question. Why is my question so fucking difficult for
Dana. What is if your husband?
She's gonna say. What's her name? Spagnola.
Oh, Sofia Vergara.
I
mean, I've always thought she looked like a trans. She's an exaggeration of a woman. To me, that's like I've met a million drag queens.
Because men go as mad about Sofia Vergara as women seem to be going for Pete Davidson. But if you ask me and probably every man in the audience, like, isn't she a fucking super bang? Like, whatever. She's got a lot of everything you want. The big lips, the big tits, the big hips. The thing about Pete Davidson is that none of it makes sense. We're told that abs are great. We're told that a dapper, handsome man is great. This dude looks like he just got fucking evicted from a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
He looks like a loser. He has a loser vibe.
He's like John Mayer's loser cousin.
Right.
Because John
Mayer, they go mad about him.
They do because he's fucked everybody.
There, she said it. Told you.
Sofia Vergara. I mean, Rachel Weisz is gorgeous. I don't know if anybody would say that.
Yeah, but is he a man? Are you DJ GB? Again, they're not answering the question. We're talking. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking ask the question again. I think you've all heard the question.
I mean, how about Courtney Love is a total skank?
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
Chrissy Hind is a total skank.
Okay, so now at least a woman is answering the question. Anne Hathaway. Do men go mad about Anne Hathaway? I don't think they do.
No men do.
I don't think they do.
No.
Has Anne Hathaway dated the equivalent of, Kate Beckinsale, etc., etc.? And is Anne Hathaway so confusingly ugly? Because that's what Pete Davidson is to men.
I mean, no man can believe that any woman would look at that guy. Because he has nothing. I don't care how big his dick is. Please.
Apparently, it's not even as big.
He even admitted it.
Yeah, he said he's ruined it. It's been ruined now. He has a decent sized dick, and now it's been ruined.
Yeah.
By the way, he just went off on Ariana Grande because she said in Vogue magazine interview, she was like, "Yeah, I didn't really know who he was when I dated him. I just kind of used him as a filler inner between boyfriends," she said. So now on his stand-up, there's a thing going around TikTok, a bit of a stand-up, going, "Oh, fuck it, then I may as well just let it rip on this girl." And he's like, "Imagine I said that about a woman,
She was a fill-in.
Yeah,
I think she's a highly disappointing person because she's this young. She's not that young, but she's cute. She's very talented. I don't like her music, but she's talented. But she's got a really big trap, and she says some very provocatively dirty things in highly respectable magazines like Vanity Fair and
she
Vogue.
just did it.
She doesn't need to do that. That's unnecessary. Kissing and telling is still unsexy. It's still very unsexy.
Yeah, don't
and it's
do that.
uncouth. It's uncouth.
Yeah, good word.
If you're gonna fuck somebody on the side, keep it to yourself, man. It's so much sexier to have a secret.
Talk among yourselves. I'm going back to me. Yeah. I'm going to put more ice in my drink. It's so hot here.
My turn when you get back. I want to make another split up. Tom, I love this. I'll tell you a funny story. I've got the hots for Diana Krall, Elvis Costello's wife. Her great looks are a bonus to her awesome singing voice. She's a terrible singer. She's a great piano player. So I'm a huge Elvis Costello fan, but I wasn't always. I had a friend of mine growing up that I called Mel because he looked like Mel Gibson, but he's my friend Ray, and he was obsessed with Elvis Costello. And my dearest, oldest BFF, Mimi Reichenbach, worked for WIA, and she got me a job there. Anyway, long story short, I met Elvis Costello. I met him because he was doing a press junket for his album Spike. Now, sure, I knew Oliver's Army, and I knew Accidents Will Happen. I knew the pop hits. So he had this new record out, of which Veronica was on, and a bunch of stuff. So I'm sitting in a room for 5-6 hours alone with Elvis Costello, and I could not have cared less because I was not interested in him as an artist. What I was interested in was I wanted to get a picture and an autograph from my friend Ray, who was a big Elvis Costello fan. So we had this great time. He was so funny, so smart. We talked about the Beatles. I wasn't a fan. Flash forward 20 years later, I have become the biggest Elvis Costello fan, and I'm such an idiot for not realizing what a breathtaking guy he is. I'm in the Apple store, and I see Diana Krall, and yes, she's gorgeous in person. She has the most beautiful skin you've ever seen. And I'm like, I wonder if Elvis Costello is here. It's just like just almost exactly what happened to me with Steve Jobs. I turn around and there's Elvis Costello, and I just go, and I run away. Meanwhile, I've spent.
Saw Steve Jobs. Jesus,
I saw Steve Jobs in the Apple Store down on Prince Street. That's the one where I said, "You're a god," and I walked away from him. I said, "You're a god," and I called him a god, and I walked away. But Elvis Costello, I'm probably one of his biggest fans. Know his work upside down. But here's a guy I didn't really know who he was, kind of like Pete Davidson was for her. You know, I was just using him. I had the best time hanging out with this musician guy who impressed me, and I went home and I put on this Spike album, and the first track was Veronica, and I went, wow, that's fucking
that's a
great.
tragic. Have you ever seen that video? It's a beautiful video.
Oh yeah. And then there was a song on that album called Drag the Dirt Down, and there's a lyric on that record that goes, when England was the whore of the world, Margaret was its madam.
Steve Croy, when did Dirk meet Steve Jobs? That was probably in 2008, 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6. It was when they opened up the Apple Store on Prince Street.
Which
I was
just
in there
mentioned.
for an Apple events, yeah. And he was there, and I was like, because, you know, we love that shit. But anyway,
man.
Yeah, Diana Krall, some guy was talking about Elvis Costello.
Oh, I see.
And his wife, yeah, she's beautiful. He's married to a lot of very attractive girls. Lady Gaga's not a good-looking girl, talented.
She's not. No, I think you picked the perfect one. I think you picked Chloe. Like that is confused. Maybe is it confusing to women? It should be.
I think I'd be like that if I met Eric Cantona. Oof, I can't disagree with you there. Ride, absolute ride. I think you might be gay, Nick.
Pamela
Eric
Anderson
is an actor now.
DJ is what you think women are confused why men like Pamela Anderson? I don't think there was ever a confusion there.
Spritz break. I'll be right back.
Off you go.
Oh.
Just for the record, I like Pete Davidson. He's a funny dude. He's cool. Can hang with the guy. I'm not against him. I'm just shocked that women, I guess we always get this message like, what's that guy, Teddy Baltzar, the other watch channel, a good channel, big channel, very big. His girlfriend has a like a relationship advice channel. It's exploding. She's getting really big. She might even be bigger than his channel now. I can't remember her name. But anyway, she's like, it's real simple. She's sitting on the couch with a plant next to her. It's like, as uninteresting as you can get with YouTube sets. But she's like talking about this stuff. And, she's always talking about, the 5 things that women find attractive in a man, this kind of stuff. And you can just imagine these dudes clicking on it, going, oh, how can I be more attractive to women? All this kind of stuff. I felt like doing a reaction video to one of her videos at one point, but it wouldn't be watch related, would it? I guess I could do it on here. But, you're always told, brush your teeth and, brush your hair, make your bed in the morning, be responsible, put on a nice orange shirt, all of this kind of stuff that you think, oh shit, I better like pull my socks up and be a better man. Then you see Pete fucking Davidson. This guy's tattoos look like scribbles on a school desk, from your school. Like like he just looks like a miserable mess, and he's like too many teeth for his mouth, and you just go, wow, he looks like a homeless person or some dude who can't pay his rent or something. And they all go, oh yeah, he's so like, okay, so I have to ignore everything I've always been told about being an upstanding guy, about being clean and all of that stuff. Not that I've followed any of that stuff. Like, I've never had a problem with that kind of thing in my life. And it's always been the bad boy shit, the old bad boy thing has kicked in. Oh, I like a bad boy. You're a bit of a bad boy. You're a little unshaven and you're a little dangerous or whatever the hell they think. And I don't know. I just think Pete Davidson is a phenomenon. And I'm not the only person to talk about it. It's kind of amazing. I embrace it. I don't have any... there's no envy there except for Kate Beckinsale. It's like, what? How did that fucking happen? I mean, I understand an Ariana Grande, and I definitely understand Kim Kardashian, because she will only date the flavor of the month, right? The guy who's in the news because it's a marketing ploy or whatever. But Beckinsale, she's so grand and British and ultra smart and high shelf. Top shelf stuff. Anyway, apparently not. Like, next thing he's gonna wind up marrying Kate Blanchett or something like that. I'll just go, okay, that's the end of the world now. That's it. That's the story of the planet. That's it. We evolved, and then Jesus happened, and then 9/11 happened, and then this happened, and now it's, a comet hits the earth. Because, Kate Blanchett just married Pete Davidson. So, I just fucking think it's like fucking bizarre. And all it makes... Oh, Courtney Ryan, that's the name of the channel. Not that she needs a plug. I think she's massive. She's cute. She's nice. And she gives good advice. I don't mean to put her down. It's actually... Some of her stuff she says on the channel is actually very...
what I miss?
Very smart. I'm just talking about... I'm still on the Pete Davidson thing. Oh, clearly, I can't let it go. Clearly, this is a bee in my bonnet, so I should just get over it. No, I'm fine with it, but it's...
You should aspire to be as sexy as that motherfucker. He's malnourished, tattooed.
So I just made like a hypothesis, because the problem is, like, him with Kim Kardashian kind of makes sense to me.
Oh yeah,
him with Ariana Grande kind of somewhat made, but Kate Blanchett, that doesn't make sense to me at all. So then I thought, or not Kate Blanchett, excuse me, Kate Beckinsale. And then I thought, next thing, because every time I see who he's dating, it's always a shocker to me. Next thing, he's gonna marry Kate Blanchett.
Beckinsale.
No, I was shocked at Beckinsale. That's why I just slipped up. Sorry, it's late here. It's fucking 10 to 2, and I've had a few drinks. I was shocked at Kate Beckinsale. I'm saying Kate Blanchett, she's so high class, right? Just a high class woman, you know.
Uh-huh.
Next thing we're gonna hear that she's with Pete fucking dead. They're getting married and having children.
She's gonna leave her husband,
yeah,
of 30 years or whatever for Pete Davidson.
For Pete Davidson, because she loves that one tattoo that looks like a scribble on the back of a fucking school desk.
Can we talk about everybody's bad tattoos? It's not like beautiful sleeve art. I did, yeah. The botch.
It's not just art. It's not like a big sleeve. It's like it looks like somebody came over. It's like when you get a plaster on your arm because you broke it and everybody fucking signs it and scribbles all over it. That's what tattoos are for a lot of. And his tattoos are like that. They're just blobs. It's just like moments of shit.
Yeah, they're just like squiggles. If I had a marker, I would have drawn on my face, but I don't have one. Would have been fun. Face tattoos. What do we think? Do we like them? Are they sexy? I think they're about as sexy as cock rings or nipple rings.
Dandy Warhol. That's a cool name, man. Do you like the Dandy Warhols? The band, fucking great band.
Were they great?
Dirty Ugly Bastard. Yeah, they're really. You should watch Dig, the documentary about them and the Brian Jonestown massacre. Amazing. Dandy Warhol. He's a dirty, ugly bastard, and I'm jealous as fuck. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's okay. It's okay to admit to be jealous. I kind of am too.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Have we run out of topics now? We just went off on Peter. I need to rewrite the subject matter of this.
Dudley Moore. Dudley Moore was with Susan Anton. Do you remember anybody remember who that gorgeous? She's like a 6'2" gorgeous.
Well, he was in 10.
He was in
Dudley
10.
Moore was in 10.
He was also an incredible scholar, a master classical pianist as well.
You know, he said he picked up piano because he knew it would woo women.
And he played like that.
You know, anytime I played piano, especially classical, women get very
emotional.
It happened again recently. There's certain things. I think all the abs and the biceps in the world and the money in your bank in the world, I'm not sure they compete to just a man sitting in front of a classical piano, like a long chord piano, like a tailed piano, and playing a piece of classical music. I think that's a button. It's like catnip to cats. It's a button. So and Dudley Moore figured that out.
For a guy that's playing drums in a rock band,
right?
Isn't the same thing. I think
Dudley Moore was straightforward about it. I saw him in an interview. He was overt about it. He said, I started mastering piano because I knew that it had a certain effect on women. And he knew, being short and plain, that it would be hard to get the attention of beautiful
exceptional
women.
Pianist, though.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
I mean, he played like Bartok and Rachmaninoff, and the guy was incredible.
I play Liszt and Rachmaninoff. I don't play any, which Bartok? Bela Bartok? I think I played a Bela Bartok. I think I had to study a Bela Bartok for an exam. Don't remember it. Wouldn't be able to play it today.
Because it was so melodically memorable to you.
It was atonal.
It was completely atonal.
It was one of my favorite questions.
That's what that is.
I was composing for a quintet in New York, and they play all sorts of stuff. And we were at dinner, and they were like, "How's the composition coming? Is it tonal?" Was the question.
It's tonal. Really?
I just the question was, is it tonal? It's like
Who said that? Who said that?
It was a quintet. It was Hannah Min, brilliant violinist, Mindy Asher, amazing cellist, and et al. And is it tonal? Was the question at dinner. And I just thought that's so funny because in the rock world, like that's like me saying to you, is your melody good, or is there a melody in your song? You know,
no.
It's like saying I've hired a model for tomorrow's shoot and going, oh, cool. Is she good looking?
Is she attractive?
No, she's a fucking model, of course. Yes. Is she attractive? Yeah. Is it tonal? Because that happens. They play a lot of atonal music that has no recognizable melody in it whatsoever.
I mean, who?
Lots.
Yeah. So you know what I saw this morning? A band that I saw live, a band that is critically acclaimed. So I listened to their record on my way to work, and the band is Dawes. Are you familiar with them?
How do you spell Dawes?
Dawes. Dawes. They're Jeremy Goldsmith and his brother Griffin. I saw them open up for ELO at Madison Square Garden, and they sounded great. 3-part harmony, melodic-y stuff, blah, blah. I mean, I didn't hum any of the tunes on the way home, but they played a 10-minute song on CBS this morning. CBS has this weekend show. Anyway, they did this thing. It was 10 minutes long, and it was like proggy, but we're proggy people. So I was like, that's not good prog. And I listened to the record, and it was atonal. They didn't have hooks. Their prog was kind of just didn't make any sense. Didn't go anywhere. Their transitions were odd. The production was like dry and weird. And I was like, you know what? I don't like this. And people love this band. And I don't know why, because it's like they just fall short of being great. Like they don't have that clever hook or that clever lyric. And I listened to the whole record on my way to and from work. I was like, I want to like this. I really want to like it. And I didn't like it. It was too atonal for me because I love catchy, syrupy melodies.
It doesn't even have to be catchy, but any sort of melody. But when you enter into the classical world, the modern classical world, I mean, I was at a concert where they were banging rocks, like all the violinists and cellists put down their instruments and banged rocks off one another. Like there's a whole other level. Once you're out of tonal world, you can get crazy. Nicola, there's nothing better than being able to play the piano. Yeah, I mean, certainly from a composer point of view, once you have the keyboard scale in your mind, you can compose for a lot of instruments, and I have. It's a great instrument to know, definitely.
And it's linear, so you can learn it.
Yeah. John Cage, Hans, it's like a John Cage piece. Yeah, sure. Yeah, what serialism and so on, right? Or that's Philip Glass, where it's not about the melody, it's about the multiplying of notes and so on. But we've gone there. It's like modern art. It's not about painting a picture of a sunset and a ship on the horizon. It's about
it's not.
It's about like just taking color, and experimenting with it, or shape and experimenting with it. By the way, I'm going to go back to the Biennale and film I'm going to do the Royal Oak Offshore at the Biennale Art Film Fest because it's such a fucking crazy looking watch, and that art fest is like haunting and dark. I'm going to do it.
Do it. Are you the one that said that you prefer the second version of the Brandenburg Variations?
That's the one I know the most.
The second one?
Yeah. The 1970s,
80 something one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The one played on that Steinway in
No,
New York.
That's the second one was Yamaha. He defected.
Oh, he really?
Yes,
well,
famously.
Maybe that's not the one I like.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the one I like.
The Goldenberg. Sorry, Brandenburg. Goldenberg. How dare I? I mean, listen, you mic up a C3 or a C7, and it can sound good. Yamaha can make a great sounding classical. They do. We're just Steinway fucking purist, horrible people. If it's not Steinway, we don't even want to know about it.
Right. Okay, we're just over 2 hours. Let's cut it there. Thank you all for listening to our ramblings.
Thanks, kid. We didn't even get into what is a woman. I wanted to briefly chat, but we'll do it next week. So prepare. There's this guy on TV. He's not Jordan Peterson. He's another guy named Matt Walsh. And I want to kick him in the face because he's a smug asshole and I don't like him. I don't disagree with him, but I don't like him. Next week.
Next week we'll get into
Yeah.
it. I get asked that question a lot. Yeah, the definition and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a great Saturday night. Thanks for tuning in.
SATURDAY. Night. Can we use that? Maybe we should use that. SATURDAY. Night. Remember that
There you
song?
go. I do not.
It's the Bay City Rollers, and you should know it.
I should know it.
I'm gonna be cut.
Again, anybody watching on the Timeless Watch channel who's getting annoyed because it wasn't about watches for most of it, this is the Eye Bashers. It will be deleted from Timeless Watch channel now. It's just to bring your attention over to the Eye Bashers. Look for the Eye Bashers channel, the Eye Bashers, and subscribe. That's where we do this chat. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with watches. We just talk about other stuff. So next week we're going to talk about what is a woman. And
I bought a fake Moonswatch. Don't forget.
oh yeah, I can't wait to see that thing.
Can't wait to see it. It's going to be crap, just like the real one.
Just like the real one. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.